Hi, everybody. I'm Darren Lynch, founder and CEO of Irish Titan. You're about to listen to some Ecomm Forum whiskey shot follow-ups. Enjoy. More to come. Hi, everybody. I'm Darren Lynch, founder and CEO of Irish Titan. Excited to have a friend and partner with us here for a bite-sized follow-up to Ecomm Forum. I'll talk about that more here in a second, but Quentin is with us. Quentin, why don't you introduce yourself and give everybody a quick download?
Hey everyone, my name is Quentin. I'm the COO of ShipperHQ. We're one of Irish Titan's many partners down here in Austin, Texas. We focus on the cart and checkout element of your e-commerce platform.
Great. And ShipperHQ, Quentin, the whole team down there are good friends of the firm. So happy and excited to have him here to riff with me a little bit. So Quentin was one of our speakers at Ecomm Forum actually the last 2 years. He was part of a panel in 2019 and then did a spotlight talk, as we refer to them, in 2020. So thank you for all the support over the last few years, Quentin, and both in and out of Ecomm Forum. That's appreciated.
Absolutely.
One of the things that Quentin talked about at Ecomm Forum were some of the emerging trends, right? Like with the pandemic last year, we all know e-commerce grew quite a bit, and there were some trends, some habits, some predictions starting to form. Here we are on the other side of the holiday season, and ShipperHQ has tremendous visibility to what happens in the e-commerce space because of what they do. So what we wanted to do is follow up on Ecomm Forum with sort of a whiskey shot-sized recap of things after Ecomm Forum. One of the gifts that you guys provided at Ecomm Forum were notebooks and pens in our sponsor.
Oh yeah.
So everybody can get their notebook out and their pen out and take some notes. Quentin, what's been happening since Ecomm Forum? What do you think is going to emerge as ongoing trends and habits, and what's on your mind that ShipperHQ has been observing?
Yeah, it's a great question, and thanks for having me for the shot size. I'll get my whiskey later. One of the most interesting things that we've noticed is a lot of solidification of the trends that we've seen. Generally with the trend, there's the up and the down, and what we're seeing now is some of these things are constants. The one that jumps out to me the most is, I think is obviously it's one that's very apparent, is like curbside, like click and collect, and like how important those things are. I think of my mother who's 61. She hasn't gone to a grocery store in a year plus, and she loves it. And I think it's not just the big box retailers or the larger grocery stores that are doing this. Local in Austin, the grocery store below us is doing that. And as we're talking to people in Q1 2021, people are planning for this. Some people are trying to make their warehouses pickup locations because some people just want to go out, grab something and come back home. They don't want to go into the store, or sometimes they don't want to wait for it to come in the mail.
So that observation you just mentioned about some merchants making their warehouses the pickup location, has that emerged this year, or was that starting last year, even before the pandemic?
It was always ad hoc before the pandemic, right? So some people would say, hey, we've got a couple social people at the warehouse, and they would do that. I think that a lot of people got thinking creative around Q3 and Q4 because each one of the carriers, logistics carriers, UPS and FedEx were refusing to take packages at a certain point. And so what they started doing was saying, like, we have these products, they're bundled and ready to go, but these carriers can't take them from load. And so people took some learnings from that, got creative, and I think now those are some of those things that are looking to stay.
Interesting. Have there been any emerging trends or habits, let's say, within the last year that you think will subside when we come out the other side of this pandemic? And shopping can return to some semblance of normal, and people can get out and interact with some semblance of normal. Are there any habits that you think will revert back to the way they were before?
I think that what sticks out to me in my head when I answer this, I know it's only 5 minutes, is that I think people are going to try to return back to the store. Like, I think for the brick and mortar people, they're going to try to make that sort of the focal point again. So I could see returns being an interesting thing. I could see people trying to say, hey, we'll give you a X% discount if you come drop it off at the location. So there's something around returns there. That's where my head's been thinking lately of the next thing, because click and collect, I think, is sticking around. Yeah. Showing delivery dates is sticking around. So a lot of that, I think, is solidified a base of sort of requirements. And some of that's come from marketplaces that have done that. But I see that as becoming a new standard. And the changes would be the next evolution past that would be the digression, if there is any.
Yeah, I think the buy online, pick up in store, I think the click to collect, you can't put those genies back in the bottle. Right?
Exactly. That's the exact same.
Yeah, that's not going away. Maybe some people will use it less. They might use it sometimes when they don't feel like quote unquote shopping, and maybe they won't use it when they do feel like, using shopping as more of an excursion. But those two things aren't going to go away. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that I've seen people do is with not to talk about ShipperHQ, but we have time slots, and so some people are sort of weaning down the number of time slots because they either have people that are comfortable coming in store, or they've got their supply chain nailed down enough. Sorry, my French bulldog's eating my chair. He's teething, but I could see people stepping back the come one, come all, we're ready, to being much more strategic and aligning that with their supply chain.
Right. I should have kicked off this conversation with possibly apologizing in advance for both of us, since we both have our dogs in our office right now. Mine's sleeping right over there and yours is at your feet.
mine has the zoomies. I've learned that term recently.
So one of the things I find incredibly valuable is your annual Black Friday, Cyber Monday recap. When you pull together some of the data points and observations. Anything from there that you want to share that you either saw within that time frame, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, or even just the extended holiday season? Any takeaways, observations that you think would be helpful for people to remember?
Nothing I can think of off the top of my head. I have some anecdotal stuff. One of the interesting things we found is there was a big conversation of, is Black Friday, Cyber Monday going to have the magic it usually has? People have been incentivizing purchasing. People might not have the money that they had in the years previous, but we saw our traffic almost 8x on Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So that's still sticking around, and there's still a lot of value to that. So for the merchants, it's still very viable and something we recommend. We love seeing the verticals, the sort of stand out. A lot of gym equipment, a lot of that was still as strong as ever. I thought that one would be a little bit lower just because throughout all of 2020, we had nothing to do besides buy dumbbells and treadmills that are now clothing racks still to this day. But there's still a lot of staying power in that one. That's always a vertical that we see a lot of uptick and just continue to grow.
Yeah, I think that one of the things I really I thought was a nice way to think about some of the e-commerce trends last year was this new category of new essentials. Home fitness was mentioned in that at the beginning of the pandemic when e-com blew up, and it mentioned some categories considered new essentials. And like you, I was thinking, well, that's true now. I wonder how long that will last, right? Because
right, exactly.
Dumbbells and be done with it. But I agree. Like I continue to hear people. So I think you're onto something.
Winston agrees with you.
Right.
He knows the gym equipment we have just sits in that closet right there. He's like, you don't use it.
Right, Winston? Yeah, Ronan's too lazy. He's sleeping over there. He's not going to say anything.
He got his workout. He got his 5-minute workout in for the day.
Exactly. That's all he needs. Well, Quentin, anything you want to leave us with as a walk away data point for people to walk away knowing where e-commerce might be going?
I think I alluded toward this earlier, and it's kind of where my thinking is the latest thing has been the curbside delivery and the curbside pickup. I think returns are going to be the next thing that kind of gets, optimized. Yeah. It's not just going to be just the return label and send it back. That's something I would say. For the merchants out there, the last thing customers see on your website is the package that arrives on the door. So don't forget that step, from the shipping rate that they see towards the post-order process. Keep all that stuff in mind, and make sure that's at the core of the beautiful website that Irish Titan or whoever builds for you.
Great. Well, Quentin, thanks for making some time. You and the entire team down there are great to work with. You have some great mojo going too, so congrats on that.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. We appreciate your time, and thanks for having us in for the Whiskey Shot Chat.
All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. There'll be more to come. We'll talk soon. Sláinte. Hi everybody. Darren Lynch, founder and CEO of Irish Titan here again. Thanks for joining our whiskey shot sized of Ecomm Forum follow-up. If you want more information, fun, or shenanigans, please go visit irishtitan.com/ecomm forum. Thanks. Have a good day. Sláinte.